Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Demaisi, and in this channel we talk about manifestation, plant medicine, healing, and overall wisdom for life. And today I want to talk about our thoughts and how much of that influences our reality. According to studies that I have read, and you probably have read as well, over 90% of our thoughts are repetitive every day. And if we're not aware of what's going on in our mind, we let them just run our lives and our reality and our finances, our relationships, the way we feel about ourselves, what we eat, how we sleep, and everything that you can imagine. Because our thoughts transmit a frequency to the universe, to the quantum field, to God, whatever you believe in, and that frequency comes back multiplied. So imagine our thoughts being repetitive, unconscious. We don't know really what we're thinking, but we know by our emotions. We do know by our own emotions, and honestly, if you look at your life, your reality is expressing what you've been thinking for the last few months, right? So sorry, I had to cut the video because there was this bird or whatever that bug is being really loud, and so I prayed for it to shut up, and it did. So let's see if it stays like that throughout the video. I was talking about how you know what your repetitive thoughts are even though you're not conscious of them, just by looking at your reality, right? We know. We're like, okay, well, I'm manifesting this and this and this because of my main frequency, which is directed by my thoughts. So imagine your repetitive thoughts, which is over 90% of them every day, being like a drum. Like I have my drum here to really bring this point home, going like this all day long. In your mind, unconsciously, and sometimes you can hear them, and while you sleep as well, all day, while you drive, while you take a shower, while you sleep, until we start becoming very aware of our thoughts. This is not gonna change. So how do you change your reality? How do you change the amount of money you have, how your business is doing, how people treat you, how you treat yourself, how your body looks, how your face looks, everything? How do you change your reality? Is by changing your repetitive thoughts. Is by changing your thoughts and becoming aware, but also repeating them. So if you're gonna have a drum in your head all day, might as well be a drum of thoughts that are convenient to you. You know, might as well be a drum of thoughts of joy and happiness and health. Even if you're going through processing trauma right now, even if you have complex PTSD or PTSD, even if you're going through all of that, you can still manage your thoughts, right? Also, a lot of the thoughts are not even yours that you think during the day, and being aware of that helps you a lot to not take them personal, not create a story behind them. Because if you really quiet your mind and start listening to what you're thinking and even write it down, you realize that it doesn't make any damn sense and that there is a story behind them. And usually there's a story behind the story behind the story, right? Stories that we've had that were implanted in our mind since the moment we were born. So how do you change that? You change them by beginning to repeat thoughts in your mind that are good for you, that have the goals that you have in mind in it. And I'm referring to affirmations, but also I'm referring to a generalized thought, not necessarily like I don't want you to hammer affirmations all day if that is exhausting to you. If you're someone that overthinks a lot, maybe that would be good for you. But what has worked for me is to pick a couple of thoughts, just a couple of things that are good for me that day, and to repeat them and feel the feelings of having them. Like feel the feelings of already that those thoughts being a reality. For instance, I could say I vibrate with the frequency of joy and abundance. Yeah, that could be like my thought that day or that month, and I just repeat it enough to until I feel it, like I do, like I believe it, I do vibrate with the frequency of joy and abundance, and then that becomes my inner chatter. The thing is, guys, the reason why we suffer extra is because we have stories in our head that don't shut up. Your mind doesn't shut up. And that's normal, right? Because you're alive. It doesn't shut up. But the problem is we identify with those thoughts as though they are us. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not your past. You're not what other people said. You're not your hammering, drumming, dread thoughts of depression and anxiety and feeling ugly and feeling inadequate. You're not any of that. You're not what your mom said. You're not what your dad said that was negative. You're not what your teacher made you feel that you are. You're not what your bullies said you were. You're not what your ex said that you are. None of that. You are a divine being. You are pure light and perfection and joy because you come from the divine. And everything else is stories that were implanted in our minds as kids and as adults sometimes too. You could be an adult and meet somebody and decide to see the world through their eyes and believe everything they're saying about you and take everything that they do personal about you. And then that becomes a belief system. So you don't have to always be a child to create new belief systems. The good news is that you can change it, and you can change it any day, because how you feel is ruled by your thoughts that you repeat over and over and over. So you could change your thoughts. You can change how you feel. And again, if you're processing trauma, go ahead and feel. Go ahead and feel the grief. Feel the pain. Feel the anger. You have every right, okay? But then realize that you could also decide to not fall into a deep hole of black depression. You don't have to. You can feel you can feel the pain, and you can feel the anger, and you can feel the grief, and at the same time you could have a successful business. At the same time you can take good care of yourself. At the same time you could go to the gym and eat proper foods. At the same time you could decide to be joyful, even in the midst of going through a grieving process. Because we could have sadness and joy at the same time. And I know it's hard to fathom that, but you could process your sadness and cry, and then decide to be grateful and to be joyful and to connect with your heart, to connect with all of your chakras and energy systems, to connect with all of them, to expand them, to heal yourself, to balance yourself. You still have that much power. You have all the power over your thoughts. This is while you also, if you have to see a professional, you see a professional. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I'm not saying to not follow what professionals have said to you. However, my encouragement to you is that you don't have to live a life where you live in a funk, where you have these torturing stories and thoughts pounding on your head every day and every night, where you can't sleep, where you have insomnia because you have all these stories running you. Instead of you running your thoughts, they're running you. Instead of you running your feelings and emotions, they're running you. You don't have to. You have the power to change it right now. Right now. You don't have to wait until your next session with your therapist. You don't have to wait to do plant medicine again if you're doing it in a few days or a few months. You don't have to wait for your shaman to call you back and help you do energy healing or whatever you're waiting for. You don't have to wait. And I want to say one more thing. Your soul speaks to you so clearly. Listen to her. Listen to him. Listen to your soul. Your soul is telling you many times, get up out of this chair. Stop what you're doing on the computer. Get up and stretch. Get up and drink some water. Get up and meditate for like 5 minutes. Center yourself again. Ground yourself again. And then come back to the computer. And many times we ignore that voice. Sometimes that voice says, please stop what you're doing, let's go to the beach. And that's where you get like your major inspiration, because you listened. So I know that I've covered a lot in this video, but I pray that it really touches you and that it encourages you And my intention is that you come out of this video and you're like, you know what, she's right, I'm gonna start changing. I have the power to change my stories, change my thoughts, change my feelings and emotions, while I still feel the feelings of grieving and sadness and anger that I could be feeling. Because I am healing certain things, I'm still going to choose to have a better day, to have a better business, to have a better relationship with my man or my woman, to have a better relationship with my children, and especially to have a better relationship with myself. You matter the most. If your cup is full, everybody else benefits. You matter the most. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind, of your nervous system, of your body. Take care of yourself. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video.